All right, good morning, AP Stats. Be sure to do your daily check-in. All right, so the announcement, same as yesterday, your Chapter 3 test eval is going to be due on Friday, and I offer tutoring specifically for AP Stats on Mondays. So our learning targets that we want to hit today are identify the population and sample in a statistical study, identify voluntary response sampling, and convenience sampling, and explain how these sampling methods can lead to bias. Describe how to select a simple random sample using slips of paper, technology, or a table of random digits. So we're going to start off today by working backwards. We'll also end with the big ideas when we wrap up today's lesson. Population and sample. So here are the definitions for each. So for a population, it's the entire group of individuals we want information about. That is our population. A sample is a subset of individuals in the population from which we are collecting data. So a convenience sample and voluntary sample are both two examples of collecting data. So these are just two ways we could sample. So a convenient sample is sampling individuals who are easy to reach, and a voluntary response is someone who chooses to be in the sample. And the last sampling method we're going to talk about today is a simple random sample. It can be abbreviated by SRS. And a simple random sample is every group is equally likely to be chosen, hence randomizing. So to conduct this sample, first you want to label, so whether that's slips of paper, maybe it's people and you want to assign them a number. The second thing you want to do is randomize them. So whether that you use a random number generator or slips of paper of equal size and you put them in a hat. And 3, you want to just select. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I want you to go over to the Crazy in Love lyrics, the first page. So the first page has stanzas of Beyonce's Crazy in Love lyrics. I want you to choose randomly any 5 words you see and type them below. So the words that I picked from the Crazy in Love lyrics, I chose look. There are 4 letters in that word. Got, there are 3 letters in that word. Me, there's 2. There's 6 letters in hoping. And, oh my gosh, 4 letters in your. Well, now I want you to go ahead and take the average word length of your sample. So for my average word length, I added 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6 plus 4 out of 5 words that I chose. And so that's 19 out of 5. And my average is 3.8. So now I want you to put your average on the dot plot below and then take a snapshot of this dot plot with your data on it, your data point, your sample, and paste it, copy and paste it to your notes. So I added my data point here. That's around 3.8. So on number 3, I want you to find a new sample of 5 words using a random number generator. So then put your average on the dot plot below after you use your random number generator. But before that, I'm going to show you how you're going to use your random number generator. You will need your calculator, and you will also need the second page of the Crazy in Love lyrics where numbers are assigned to the words in her song. So let me share. Okay, so you have your calculator open. Just click calculate. And in here, I'm going to clear this because I've been messing with my calculator. So before you use your calculator, especially if we're using a random number generator, you're going to want to type in rand seed and put parentheses and put any number. It doesn't matter. What this is going to do is make sure that when we use the random number generator, that it doesn't generate the same numbers. So you're seeding your calculator. And now what you're going to do is press rand int. So rand int is to use our random number generator. And on the second page of your Crazy in Love lyrics, the letters or the words that are assigned. So number 1 is I, number 2 is look, and then the last word is hey, which is number 297. So there's 297 words that are used in the lyrics Crazy in Love. So we want to tell the calculator to randomly select a number from number 1 to number 297. So where you start, where you end, click enter, and just keep track. So my number is 84. I want you to write your number down, and you want to do this 5 times because we are sampling 5 words, 5 word lengths. So I'm going to do this 5 times. You go ahead and do it 5 times. Okay, so I randomly sampled a number between 1 and 297 5 times. So here are the numbers, and I'm now going to go look at the Crazy in Love lyrics. I wrote them here to remind myself, but here are the Crazy in Love lyrics. And keeping in mind, my first number was 84, and 84 is here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters in 84. In 106 for mine, I'm going to go look at 106. There's 2 letters in that word. Oops. I'm going to go look at 210 now. 210. There's 3 letters in that word. I'm going to go look at number 9. There's 4 letters for word number 9. Four. Oh my goodness. All right, and then number 61, there are also 4 letters. So now go ahead and calculate the average and add it to the dot plot below. So right down here, my average word length using the random number generator is 3.6. And I added it to this dot plot below. This dot plot was made using the random number generator. So for number 4, how is the dot plot from number 3, different than the dot plot for number 2? And number 2 is here, and number 3 is here. Keep in mind, in number 2, that data was collected by me just sampling a bunch of people around my town and just asking them to circle random words. Number 3, we used the random number generator. So go ahead and tell me, how is the dot plot from number 3 different than the dot plot from number 4? And which do you think is a better estimator of the true mean word length? So the true mean word length of Beyonce's song Crazy in Love. All right, so now that you've assessed the differences between the dot plots in number 2 and number 3, so hopefully you took into consideration variability. How's the variability different? How is the mean different? We noticed that in number 2, the mean is higher than in number 3. So number 3, the mean's lower. Number 2, the mean's higher. It looks like there's more variability in number 2 than there is in number 3. When we go on to number 5, taking all of that into consideration, what do you think the true mean word length is for Crazy in Love? So looking at our 2 dot plots, there are a couple things I want to go over here. So the dot plot used in number 2, this is what the way I collected data, at least for this one, was convenience sampling. So this was a convenience sample. I went around my town and I asked random people to circle some words, any words that they thought of. But the thing is this type of sampling is biased. And the reason it's biased is because who knows, the human mind can just go towards words that they think are random. But humans are naturally flawed, so we have to resort to something like the dot plot or the sample in number 3. So in number 3, we used a random number generator, and because it's randomized using technology and an actual random way, we call that a simple random sample. And we can abbreviate simple random sample just so that we don't have to spell it out so many times as SRS. But keep in mind, if this were a test, you want to write out simple random sample. And when something is randomized using a random number generator or trying to think of the other ones, or paper, slips of paper and a hat. There's other ones, and we'll talk about them. This is unbiased data when it says it's randomized. And one thing before we move on, hold on. Oh no, I haven't told you yet. So that is something I want you to keep in mind. Oh no. So, okay, we did finish all the slides. Just making sure. So I'm going to now tell you what the true mean is for Beyonce's song Crazy in Love. The true mean is 3.53. So 3.53, our true mean lies here for the dot plot on number 2. And for number 3, it is about here. So we can also see this is just more evidence of why convenience sampling is not as reliable as data that is randomized. So we can see that our mean is pretty close to the true mean, should I say. The true mean is better here in number 3 than it is in number 2. Number 6, so it's known that Beyonce wrote the lyrics for all of the Destiny's Child songs. And the average word length for these songs is 3.64 letters. So based on your samples, do you have good evidence that Beyonce did not write the lyrics for Crazy in Love? And explain your reasoning. All right, so for number 6, if you said something along these lines, that no, we don't have enough evidence, the true mean word length for Crazy in Love is 3.53 letters. But although the mean 3.53 is close to the Destiny's Child mean word length of 3.64, we still don't have enough evidence that she did not write Crazy in Love. So to sum up our lesson for today, keep in mind population and the definitions for population and sample. Our methods of sampling: convenient sampling, voluntary response, you'll see in your check for understanding. And SRS, which is simple random sample. We worked with a random number generator today. There are other ways to randomize your sampling, and we will talk about those as we journey through chapter 4. I will see you on Thursday for our next live meet. Have a good rest of your Tuesday.